Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Gym Therapy Live. This is episode number 6. I am LaCour. I am so glad you are with me. I need some gym therapy this morning. And in this video, I'm going to give you the very best success tip that I can offer you. So in this video, I am going to give you the very best success tip that I can offer you. If you are new to this Gym Therapy Live session or therapy session, my name is LaCour. I'm a coach, I'm a speaker, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an author. When I talk about being a coach, I use my over 33 years in personal development, why we do the things we do as people, what we need to do to become our very best, to be happy and fulfilled, to be driven. That has been something I've been obsessed with my whole life, ever since I've been playing sports. Ever since I was 10, I couldn't figure out why there was this guy in sports, as young as 10 years old, why, he didn't have the physical attributes, but there's always something about, that one guy, kind of gangly, didn't have, maybe he was wearing glasses, didn't have the body. There's nothing about him that he should have excelled as much as he did in the sport, and I wanted it badly. Sports was something I just wanted to be great at badly, and there was always that one guy. And that's when my obsession for personal development started. Then later on in life, going through the journey of life and my challenges, that's when I dug in deeper, and I really believe that's what led me to bodybuilding. When that intersection of being introduced to bodybuilding at 27, the angst inside that I was feeling, it just had me totally go for it. And I really believe that both pain and pleasure, that angst inside, that opportunity, is what helped me become a 6-time national champion bodybuilder. And since that time, I used my experience with success in bodybuilding and training, going through the ups and downs, just like you're going through. And then that obsession for personal development, I took that past the bodybuilding and training, and I wanted to round out my life, and that's how I created the MANformation personal development program for men. And all that time, all that obsession that I have, why we as people do the things we do, how can we get more out of ourselves, playing sports, being influenced by coaches, I just knew that after bodybuilding, this is what I was meant to do. And for me, it's the perfect merge between bodybuilding and training, and building upon that. And I coach men who are driven to bodybuilding and training, just like you and me. We're a lot alike, and I'll tell you, I've been, maybe for some of you, I've been on this planet a little bit longer, and I know some of those things that we have in common that you might not recognize. And so I help men get clarity on what success is to them, what those goals are, why they're important to them. I make sure that they're really going to make them happy, checking in every step along the way. Just because you pick a goal doesn't mean even if you achieve it doesn't mean you're going to be happy. Many times you might say that you want a goal, you want to reach it, and you can't get yourself driven, you can't follow through. Could be for maybe some men watching this with bodybuilding and training. They say they want to dedicate themselves to it. They say that they're willing to make the sacrifice, but they can't follow through, and it's frustrating. Maybe at some level, either one, they kind of know in the back of their mind that all the muscles in the world and everything they have to sacrifice, that's really not going to make them happy. But it's kind of hiding in the background. Some of it is that they're not fully embraced on why it's important, both the pain and the pleasure, so they can't engage, right? So that fulfillment along the way is really important, and then I keep them accountable, right? Objectivity and perspective. You know how you go through your ups and downs in life, and sometimes if you're going through a down period, you think that's a signal that you should quit. Maybe this isn't for me. That's your perspective in that moment. It could be that you just need to suck it up. Maybe you need to find a different path, right? With that constant accountability I do is with coaching, they get objectivity and perspective, so they don't just go through their own emotions trying to figure it out. I go back and forth. I give them different ways to look at it so they can pick the right way to look at it for them. All right, so I was really excited to be here with you today. If you're new to this live broadcast that I do exclusively on my YouTube channel, I call it Gym Therapy, and the reason why is that if you're like me, you love the gym, and you're going through your challenges in life, your stress, maybe dealing with people, and the gym, just pounding the weights. Just pounding the weights, it just kind of has a way to kick in those endorphins, neutralize your mood, make sense of the world, give you that relief to take on the world and go back to all your challenges, right? And then maybe you're in the habit, I know some men who watch this, they're trying to get in the habit of going to the gym on a consistent basis. But a lot of the men who have been following me for like 20 years, this is their habit. To make sense of the world. It's their gym therapy. And I'll tell you, I got up this morning and I need you. I love this maybe more than you realize. This may be, whether anybody ever watches this, right? I love the gym. It's early in the morning here. It's 4:10 in the morning. I got a chest and triceps workout. Kind of just started warming up, and I'm going to talk to you for a few minutes. I want to do this warm-up set because I want to get myself pumped up for today's gym therapy session. Like I said, I got a chest and triceps workout that I'm doing. But this is the day. I want to give you my very best success secret as we go through life. Hey, Rav, you want to see the flex? I'll get that flex for you. And there was another gentleman who posted a comment when I was kind of in my introduction. As we go through this gym therapy live, I want to kind of tell you how we can do this and best communicate. So when you post your comments, your questions, your suggestions, the way to communicate. I mean, we're live here. You're coming to me live. I don't want to just talk. I want this to be you and I interacting. You're taking the time to be with me here live. Now, here's the challenge that I'm going to have is that your comments, your questions, your suggestions, they just appear just for a few seconds. So what you'll need to do is make it a short sentence, like no more than 8 words. And then before you send it to me, copy it. So you can send it again and again and again until I get it. All right? Try to keep them short or do a couple. Copy it so you can do it again and again. I'm not going to be offended if I see the same question and comment coming, because if they're long sentences, I can read part of it and I won't get the end. Maybe like the gentleman at the beginning of this session where he posted the question, I wanted to finish up a thought, and by the time I wanted to wrap it up, it was gone. All right, so that's the way to do this, make this work. So again, during this gym therapy live session, I'm going to talk about what I believe, at least to this point in my life, is the very best success tip that I can give you. All right, let me get this out of my system here. Hey, Rav, how about this? You're right. So, and this is kind of part of what I'm going to talk about today when I give you my very best success tip, is that, see, this is the lightest and leanest I've been in 14 years since I was competing, all right? My goal here is to lose about 5 more pounds, right? Because I got very high standards, right? 5 more pounds, and then I'm going to train with my shirt off. Because I'm going to play the game with the young guys on social media. It's visual, right? Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, right? You got to grab their attention, right? What would grab your attention more than with me with the shirt off? And you're right, Rav. I got to show the muscles. I've done the work, put in the years, right? But you have a 55-year-old man, and he can take his shirt off. Now, this is a little premature, but I'm doing this just for this tribe, this group of men that we're building on on this gym therapy session. So didn't want to do this quite yet, but I'm working so I can train with my shirt off, right? So you guys are getting a sneak peek. Like I said, you know, when you diet down for a contest, you know, the more lean you get, the more things pop. I got about 5 pounds to lose, even though 5'11". Now, I'm not competing for a show. I'm just, I got a mission, guys. I got a mission to change your lives. For these 55 years on this planet, me pushing myself the way that I have, I've learned a lot of things, and not just about training and eating. And my journey, my legacy, are these nuggets, right? So I'll tell you this, if you're a man who loves training and you're saying, what's all this talking? I want to double down, triple down, I want to quadruple down on the right eating strategy. No, tell me more. Tell me about nutrient timing, right? What about, what is the maximum overload per set and one max rep maximum? You want to just dig deeper and deeper and deeper into the training strategy, deeper and deeper and deeper into the eating strategies. Well, you lift weights, you recover, you push yourself again, you decide on the training routine, you decide on a diet, you follow through, and then you make adjustments along the way. If you want to make it more complex than that because you just love the intricacies, that's your thing, right? With the training, break it down, break it down, break it down. Hey, have at it. I mean, look, life is about being happy, right? Whatever in this moment in time, whatever makes you happy, I will support you any way I can. My definition of happy doesn't necessarily have to be your definition of happy, and I don't put that upon anybody. I want you to be happy. Yeah, that's a great question. So, and I'll talk about that. That kind of weaves in to what we're talking about. So what Rav said, what do I think about all the YouTubers out there who have these big followings, and it seems to be more entertainment? How do they get that big following? That does tie into, to this topic that I want to share with you, my very best success tip secret, right? Let me just tell you this, Rav, as a little forward into answering your question about YouTubers with a big following and what you talked about. They seem to just be more entertainment. Right? Let me just tell you, you got to respect the game. I don't care what you may think. When somebody is successful, when they've built a big following, there is a success secret. Nobody just gives you success. We may not understand what a person did. Sometimes they don't understand how they cracked the code. Everything runs in patterns. Usually what you want more of in life, you know, the best things that only a few people get, there's a pattern, there's a code to crack, but it's more complex. There's a lot of things that are working, and it's not just the strategies, it's your own internal mind. And that's part of the very best success tip that I could give you. All right, so I'll come back to that, and you'll see how it ties in. Let's see, so what I was just saying, what was I saying, right? This Gym Therapy Live is my way to just get out my thoughts and share with you more, just my most raw feelings. It's not scripted, it's not planned. If you've seen some of my videos, I really think it out, and I really do the delivery and all that type of thing. That's not what this is designed for. And I'll tell you what, you know, like I said, right now it's 4:16 in the morning, but I've been up for a couple hours. You know when I really should have this gym therapy? When my thoughts are really raw, when, you know, my fears, my emotions, my desires, positive, negative, everything in between, I'm confused. I have to put together. I've got the pressure on myself, right? It's when I'm preparing to get here and shaving the old head in the face in that shower. I'll tell you what, you wanted me to get really raw, I should bring you know, this camera into my shower my first hours waking up. Maybe it's that way for you. Because as you, the more, I don't know if this is your experience, but my experience is when I first wake up, that's when I'm most raw. You know, I'm the most emotional towards positive things, but also the negative things and fears. You know, can I do this? Can I come through? Can I reach my goals? Can I deal with this stress and pressure? And you might think, what stress and pressure, man? You get to work out in a gym, this beautiful gym, it's empty, you're a champion, you get to train, this is your living, turn on the camera. No, that's the whole point of what this very best lesson that I'm going to give you to be successful, the very best success tip, right? So first thing in the morning, and then the more hours I'm awake, the more conditioned I am to take on the stress, to take on the challenges and use all my strength and perspective to have a positive attitude, to attack my problem, you know, and then I'm more battle-tested and tough, more susceptible to weakness and fear is when I first wake up in the morning. I'm wondering if you're the same way too. It's just that I'm just conditioned. I know what that feels like. I know the challenge ahead. It's still, I'm just as stressed. I'm just as fearful. I deal with pain in life and angst if I can come through, you know, how's this all going to end, right? I have just as much as you. It just may be about different things in a higher level. And then as I go through my day, I'm just conditioned to handle it all throughout the day, right? So gym therapy is my way, probably just like you, to just kind of just make sense of this world, right? So what I want to talk to you about today is pain. And, you know, if you've noticed, it's something I kind of talk about. It seems to crop up, if you really think about it, a lot in a lot of my messages. Because I know you guys are dealing with pain, you know? And, you know, you can always say that you're doing better than most. And you probably are. You're probably doing better than most, right? And sometimes you want to say, I feel all this angst. You know, how's this all going to work out? I want to go to a higher level. You know, maybe it's why can't I take my bodybuilding training to the next level? Maybe it's why can't I make more money, my business, right? And you feel this angst, or you know what, I want to meet that girl. You know, I don't see how this is going to happen. How do you find the right girl? I want that peace, love, connection, family isn't coming together. I don't know what it is for you. Maybe all of those things. I've had all of those things at parts of my life. Sometimes all three of those areas at one time. So much angst, so much pain, you start blocking off and just, well, let me just concentrate on this. And that's what a lot of us do with our gym therapy, right? All those other areas is causing too much pain, too much angst. We don't know how we're going to work them out. And so let me just work on this one area. And it just makes it more simple. And then we say to ourselves, I'll get to those later. But here's the challenge. Sometimes we never get to them, right? And I just want to tell you, I am like that right now. And it may not, my goals may be higher, my situation may be more complex, my life, because I asked for it. I asked for more challenges. I asked for the stakes to be higher. I asked for the pressure because I wanted more than maybe 20 years ago when I just wanted to be a bodybuilding champion, right? But I'll just tell you this, you know, pain, angst, right? Who wants to feel that, right? I mean, if you really think on an instinctual level, our natural reaction is to avoid discomfort. Like, you know, why do you want to deal with tough situations where it's tough people, tough, complex things at work, you know, somebody you're not getting along with somebody, you know, it's just easier. Like, why do you want to deal with that BS, right? Our natural reaction is to push, you know, that pain, that angst, that discomfort away. And that makes sense. It's survival of the fittest. In this case, it might be emotional and mental survival, right? And maybe not how us physically harm. But it's pain. So our first reaction is to avoid it, right? But the thing about it is, how do you become successful? Is it by staying the same emotional strength, the same mental strength? Right? No, you got to get mentally and emotionally stronger. Maybe you already know what that's like. Maybe the challenges that you face, and this is my case, the challenges I face now are so much more complex and so much more involved where the payoff is much higher, but the downside may be much higher as I try to put this whole life thing together at my level. It's not what it was when I worked at the grocery store and had those challenges. It's not the same when I wanted to be the bodybuilder, right? But the amount of stress and angst I feel to go to the next level, and all the challenges of trying to crack the code, to figure out the pattern, am I good enough? Am I too young? Am I too old? Am I ripped? Is doing these live broadcasts, are they going to be worth my time? I go through the same stuff as you guys, and I just want to tell you this, that everybody that you see, and it may be even a successful YouTuber, all right, I am telling you, the driving force to make them great, that made me great, that makes that YouTuber great, and respect the game. All right? He didn't get all those followers because he did everything wrong and they just stumbled to him. If somebody has success, I'll be the first. Here's one success tip within the success tip, is when somebody's successful, they have a lot of money, they get the girls, they've got a great body, they've got a lot of YouTube followers. I'm telling you this, I've been through all those journeys and I continue to go level, in some ways, right? There's a code to crack that you haven't cracked that they've cracked. Now, you may not like their personality. You may make the assumption that they're unethical, they're this, they're that, something bad about them, right? But I'll tell you, they cracked a code that you just haven't cracked. And here's the thing about it. I am telling you, it's the genesis when you finally you start avoiding the pain, right? And you got to step into the pain. And then that makes you, it's just like lifting weights. Pain, angst, discomfort, uncertainty is just like the weights. The only way you're going to get strong is you lift the weights. And then, what caused you uncertainty and pain and angst, now you're mentally and emotionally stronger to deal with it. And the more you can deal with people and situations, and you don't avoid them, right? And you crack the code. I got to make more money. Instead of avoiding it and getting to the gym every single minute of the day, and then having the therapy and diffusing yourself, you got to go through that pain to crack the code. Just like that guy who isn't as smart as you. You don't even think he works as hard. He just cracked the code. Sometimes we release the pain, the angst with our gym therapy, and we get better and better in the gym, but we need to save some of that angst to hit our problems head on. That pain can be the driving force. And I'll tell you, maybe you've had this in the past. Maybe it was a deadline back in school, and you said, I got to study. Can I do it? That grade, it's so important. What if I fail? Right? And so you push it away, you don't study, you just try to put the pain. And then what happens is then you've got the deadline coming. And now it's like, it's going to be painful if I fail without even trying. And then all of a sudden you start digging in. And you lean into the pain, the stress of the deadline. And then you see what you're made out of. Right? You see what you're made out of. And you know what? Maybe it isn't even close to being as hard as you thought. But until you stepped into the pain and the angst and the stress, you quit diverting it, whatever you were doing, partying with your girlfriend, hanging out with the guys, maybe it was going to the gym. And then you said, I'm not going to have this relief. I'm going to lean in. And then you became mentally and emotionally strong. You probably already had, the strategies. You just had to apply them. You had the work ethic. You were good enough, but you just avoided that stress, that pain, that angst until it was more painful not to do it. Well, I'm telling you guys, this is the very best success tip that I can give you, and this will help you with your bodybuilding and training. This will help you in anywhere in life, whatever area of life that you're suffering. I know you may look at YouTubers or somebody with success, and again, it's not just YouTube, it's not just with their body, it could be with the girls, it could be with money and job, and stuff like that. And I know it's painful when you can't crack the code. You want it, you say you want it, you may even put in work, and other guys have done it, and you're thinking, what the hell? What the F is wrong with me? And it's easier to say, what's the F's wrong with him? That's not good. He's a cheater, liar, stealer. That's how he got there. I'll tell you this. If you make him to be a bad person because he's successful, you want to imagine that he did all these unethical things Skip, he is unethical. Are you sure? Are you sure? Or is this cognitive dissonance because you're in pain, you can't figure it out, right? And you're imagining him to be this horrible person, cheater, liar, stealer, lucky, whatever, using drugs, whatever it is. Are you imagining that because you're in this pain? And that pain, that emotional pain, it'll make up reasons. It'll see the world and the people like it. But I'll tell you, if you make him a bad guy because he's successful, it's going to be so much harder for you to ever do that, because you're going to say, you're going to make your journey to crack the code that much tougher. How many times have you done this, right? Where, there was something that you wanted to master. It might have been in the gym. Maybe for you it was like, you can't lift that weight, you're on drugs. You saw some guy do it. You can't have that physique unless you're on drugs, right? That's what you thought. And you saw that guy like that, and you were in angst and pain, but you really wanted to succeed. And then it's 2 years later, and then you're going, look, I can do that now, because you said I'm sick and tired of where I am. I'm going to go for it. And now you don't look at that guy. You were the idiot. You were the idiot, because you now cracked the code, and you're going, wow, you know what? I limited myself. That guy was a good guy. Hell, I'm better than him now. But I imagined he was unethical, he was bad, and all this type of stuff, because I couldn't figure it out. Right? It may be that way with whatever you want in life. Don't make the other guy who's successful the bad guy, because it just softens this angst, this power that you have. You just have to funnel it, right? And when you feel that, you've been boxed in the corner before. You've had deadlines. You've had self-doubt. You've lost sleep, right? And I'll tell you, it was not comfortable. I know that, right? All right, I'm going through a part that's taking my businesses to the next level, right? That's why that pain, that's me leaning in. That's why I'm here every single day. That's why I'm going to be on Periscope and my Facebook Live. And so go to Periscope, Skip LaCour, and go to Facebook, Skip LaCour page, right? I'm doing, I'm going through this journey. I'm going through it. I'm facing my fears that I may not know what to say, that I might dangle a participle, that I might not have a following, that I might have haters, right? That I can't match up to the YouTube stars, the young guys doing whatever, right? I have to deal with all that, but you know what? I'll tell you what. You know what the pain that's worse? That I spent 15 straight years competing, right? Mastering my physical body. 6 championships, right? That does not help me now in life, unless I make it all in this unique combination that I got to put it together. Nobody is going to take care of my family at the highest level, or myself, as I become 57, 61, 62. And you young guys, I want you to think you only have so much willpower, focus, energy, and time. Where is it going? Right? And I'm not going to be one of those guys saying bodybuilding's stupid, because those guys, they say that it's because they haven't accomplished anything, right? And they're too proud. And you're going, look, I don't want to be like him. But you're hearing it from a guy who is really successful at bodybuilding and training, right? But cracking the code to relationships, cracking the code to making money and having a business, it's a different skill set. So you got to, if it's all going to the gym and eating and dissecting more and more training strategy, it's not going to cracking the code to have relationships. It's not cracking the code to go through the pain to make more money in a business, right? Pain, if I don't put this all together, if I don't diet harder, if I don't be a better presenter, if I don't put in my time and have 1,000 broadcasts that's what it takes, so I can be the best at what I do. Because you know what I did 15 years ago as a bodybuilder? It has nothing to do with becoming a great coach and teacher and change your life. It's a different skill set. I can use all my championships and my muscles as a visual, to draw you into this message, this unique message you're not going to get from anyone in this whole fitness world. It's a combination of training, nutrition, excelling there, loving it, right? But also being great in life. I want to be that coach now, this friend. I want to be this big brother. I want to be this father figure. I want you to do it better than all of these other guys. All these other guys in our culture and training, right? So it is the pain of not coming through. I can tell you this. I'm going a little bit longer than I thought I was going to go, but I saw a Jay Cutler at about a couple months ago at was a rather small fitness expo, and I was thinking, and this guy's been on the road like forever, his whole life, and I'm thinking, why? And he was in San Jose, and I was thinking to myself, and I met him, and he took a picture with my son and things like that. Well, I've known him, there's mutual respect for us, back in the days when there weren't so many people in it because the magazines were limited. And so we talked, I interviewed him, we took a picture with my son. But for about the next month, I was thinking, why is Jay Cutler on the road? Your family's really important to me. That's me, right? And he's with strangers, like all over the world. And he talked about all his businesses. And, you know, I know, I mean, that he does very well in business. I'm thinking, when is enough, right? When is it enough? You know, like, and I was, what can I learn from this situation? I thought about it. And something that we, in the fitness, we need to understand is that, you know, your body and all the effort, the willpower, focus, and time and energy you put into it, right? It feels great. It's your gym therapy. It absolves the pain that you might have. But I'll tell you, it takes a lot of effort. It's just not an hour a day in the gym. I saw somebody say, your gym time is 1/26th of your day or something like that. No, it takes a lot more than that, right? It's like when you do a speech at work or something like that. It may be a 10-minute speech, but it's all the thought, the preparation, the energy. I mean, when you're done with that 10-minute speech, you just want to take the rest of the day off, and it's only 10 o'clock in the morning. It's not just 10 minutes. This is just not an hour a day. And especially if it relieves that pain, it makes you feel good so you don't attack your problems in life. You know? It's more than an hour a day. And I want to be your big brother and friend, that it's not going to crack the code in relationships. It's not going to figuring out how to make more money for your future. And I thought, you know, Jay is smart. He's like 40 years old, and he realizes he's going to be 45 and 50, 55, 60. And I know if you're young, 60 seems like really old. 65, right? He's not going to be able to rely on himself. He's got to get all he can from it now. And he's smart. And I'll tell you, a lot of us who are into fitness, we feel so good in the moment, what we accomplish with our body, and we're boxing ourselves in a corner. What's driving me to get lean, do stuff that I didn't necessarily want to do, is the pain, the pressure that I got to come through. I got to do it before I'm too old. Some people might think they're too old already. You know, that pain is what's driving me. It's making me better. It's making me leaner, right? It's making me a better presenter. It's making me open up and be more raw, which I wasn't before. I was very guarded, right? And here's the thing about when you address your pain instead of you putting it off, or you diffuse it like with your training. You know, I love this. I love coming to you, Cram. I love opening up and growing mentally and emotionally and expanding upon my more conservative guy. I love being ripped, the most fit 55-year-old on the planet. Does it take more work? Yeah. Is it pain? Yeah, but when you lean into all the pain that you've been avoiding, I mean, you take control of your life. At least you're going out swinging. And you know, I love this. I love this because of finally leaning forward. I wish I would have started this a long time ago, using all of my talents and abilities and love. Is it an easy road? No. But I'll tell you, you know, you putting away this pain, it's going to catch up to you. You got to lean in. The best, very best success tip that I can give you, I really appreciate you allowing me to get this all out in my gym therapy session. It's going to be a lot more like this for you, is that, you know, pain, every successful person that you know, they just are past it. You know, there's some driving force that makes them die. And those YouTubers, they cracked a code. There are things behind the scenes that make these YouTubers go viral, and it's more than being entertaining. But I'll tell you, that's a code, right? You know, if they were just all serious, here's nuts and bolts and training, maybe you see those. You know, you'll get a certain group that likes nuts and bolts, but the big appeal is the people who are entertaining, and then they mix in a message, little at a time. Entertaining, mix in a little message. Right? So they go on a journey, because change isn't going to just happen with one video, just cramming you with more information. You already have that. Oh, here's nutrient time, and you're just bombarded with it and taking it in. And so what the YouTubers that you don't understand, they have a little muscle, they have a little personality, and then you kind of just see them day after day after day, and whether they realize this or not, they're giving you a relationship, a relief, and all the messages on how to be successful inside of the gym, they're slipping them to you a little at a time. So I think their genius may be a little bit more than you're giving them credit for. But again, the very best success tip I can give you is that pain is your friend. Putting it away is just postponing it. When you lean in, you might be like me. I'm loving this. This is something I avoid. I didn't want to have to be in shape when I'm older, but you know, it's cool, it's fun, and it draws you in. Like I said, Rav said, showing the biceps. You know, you'll find that too, and maybe you know that experience when you lean in the pain, it wasn't as hard. You'll realize that you should have leaned in a long time ago. That's the way I feel. And you know what? This lesson that I'm learning, I learned it over and over and over again. It's going to happen if you're 35 and 40 and 45. We're all going through this over and over and over again. All right, guys. Well, I need to do a quick Facebook Live. You guys are getting all of my gym therapy. So I'm so glad you're here. I'm doing this exclusively on YouTube. And thank you so much for the questions and comments. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. And I'm going to put the link below. I have a form at skiplacour.com/talk. skiplacour.com/talk. All right, where you can reach out and we can talk. Maybe I can help you decipher, get through all this pain by talking to you individually, one-on-one. I do make these 10-minute calls throughout the day for free, a couple a day, because I know it's more effective than this general motivation. But I hope this general motivation is helpful, but I want to take it a step farther than that. Go to skiplacour.com/talk. I'll have the link down below. I feel better, do you? With our gym therapy for today? All right, guys. Have a great day. Have an outstanding day. Have an awesome day. Think big and think bigger than getting bigger.